Баскетбол – це не просто. Усе своє життя я прагну ставати кращим. Це повна відданість справі. Щоб бути найкращим, треба докладати максимальних зусиль. Ти повинен переслідувати те, що здається неможливим знову і знову, раз за разом. Бо здаватись – це не варіант. І коли тобі здається, що ти досяг межі, це лише початок. Саме тоді потрібно зібрати всю силу, знайти сміливість, щоб продовжувати далі. Якщо ти маєш прагнення, дисципліну і рішучість зробити все, що потрібно, щоб стати великим, тоді нагороди безмежні.
Somebody wanna listen, yeah. Sometimes I wish that I had wings so I could fly away. And all you haters talk. But then I think, what if I die today? Well, if I gotta go, make it right away, yeah. Cause I don't wanna live dying. But if I gotta go, I'd rather die.
Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008. The 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4-man position. And then for the Miami Heat, Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the 4. Outside Bosh. LeBron kicks to Chalmers. Good ball movement here by Miami. Wade outside. It's stolen by Green. In transition, here comes San Antonio. It's stolen by Wade.
That's a great shot if there's 1 second left in the game.
That would be the good time to do it. Not now, though. You know, one of the things about the Heat since the Big Three has come together is that they've been able to find the right kinds of veteran players to step in and fit specific roles for this team as they've won a couple of championships now.
Splitter dishes to Duncan. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Off the left rim and out. Miami's gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. We just basically walked out of bounds.
Spurs have gone 0-3 from the field to start the game. And it's easy to have players wanting to join the Heat when they're competing for an NBA title every season. But, Steve, even then, they find the ones that most fit their offensive and defensive philosophy. And that's when they're going to come up big for them.
Yeah, for sure. This team has done such a good job putting together this roster around LeBron and Wade. You think about Birdman in the playoffs last year, you know, Battier coming in here as a stretch four. They've just found the right players and the right mix, and that's one of the big reasons why this team is back-to-back NBA champs.
The San Antonio Spurs able to put the first points up on the board. Change shot. He takes it up and lays it in. Duncan's got his second basket of the game.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Bosch kicks to Haslem. Wade outside. He feeds it to Haslem. Back to Wade. LeBron outside. That falls. Nice lead that time from Dwayne Wade.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
And Chalmers kicks to Haslem. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. First quarter of basketball, just over 2.5 minutes play.
Well, really the heart and soul of this Miami team in a lot of ways, Udonis Haslem, born and raised in Miami. He's played his entire decade-long career with the Heat, and just a tough, hard guy and a locker room leader.
Now here's Green. Leonard. The rebound. Splitter. That's good.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter. Now, I like that.
Success pounding the ball inside.
Him playing at center of all positions.
But was really heavy back in Florida. And he had to lose a lot of weight before he was ready to play. He's been the heart and soul of the Heat organization ever since.
And Miami making a change here. Battier's checked in. It's stolen by Green. One-on-one fast break. And it's slammed in by Splitter.
Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted. The aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
That's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
Here's Wade. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right.
Wade seems to be slowing down just a touch, and the difficulty as you get older, when you're not a great jump shooter, which Wade is not, is that the defenses will back off you. And that's the big challenge now for adjusting to that newer style of defense that he's going to be looking at.
Matt Bonner, he's checked in for the Spurs.
When I spoke briefly with Eric Spoelstra, I asked him what they key in on defensively, and he said, got to limit penetration by Tony Parker. He's really the, quote, the snake, and with his floater, he doesn't need to get all the way to the rim to score. It's crucial that we do our best to keep him out. Guys, that's no easy assignment. We'll see.
Thanks for that, Doris. And good on the basket. Okay. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Heat.
Well, I think the defensive players caught them off guard. Playing tight defense and coming up with the steal.
Yeah, and I've noticed also that their quick hands have led to a lot of first turnovers, getting some points in transition as a result.
And Steve, you go back to the strong output for Dwayne Wade last season for the fourth time. In his career, he averaged over 20 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game. Clark, one of only 4 players in the league last season to hit that mark.
And Kevin, he led all shooting guards and player efficiency rating for the 5th consecutive season. Some might argue, but the numbers speak truth. He's the best shooting guard in the game.
Miami trailing. LeBron passes to Chalmers. Good ball movement here by the Heat. LeBron kicks to Chalmers. Anderson run outside. All sorts of time. And another basket for Miami.
Looked like he was trying to go for a degree of difficulty points on that shot.
San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Norris Cole comes in for Mario Chalmers. 1:16 left here in the opening quarter.
And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. Swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, we're seconds away from another championship banner.
Now getting back to the Spurs, they look better and better as they went deeper into the playoffs, Clark. Heat were thought to be the heavy favorites at the start of the NBA postseason. But when they met in the finals, thoughts on who would win, I think, were pretty much split.
Yeah, and eventually, this was one heck of a series because the Spurs not only had experience and talent, but they had multiple options offensively and did such a terrific job sharing the ball. They took the Miami Heat to the limit, but at the end of the day, it came down to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade rising to the challenge.
There it is, guys, that Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
Diaw with the steal. Ahead, here's Bonner. The fast break ends at the rim with a jam.
And the lead goes right back over. This is a seesaw affair.
The game's there for the taking, but neither team seems to want it.
Here's Cole. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. It's LeBron with the drive. Here's the three. It's rebounded by Leonard. Leonard's got his third rebound on the night.
Right from the start, they've been aggressive on the glass. Most of the rebounds seem to be going their way.
And, Steve, I think they are ready for the fight today.
Down low. Here's Battier. Banked in off the glass. Battier's got 5.
What a start to this game. The offense is both dominating.
Tell you what, feels like a game on the playground. Forget about defense, just keep firing.
The Spurs shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night.
Well, this is a good free throw shooting team a year ago. They hit about 79% of their free throws as a unit.
And you can't take those numbers lightly, fellas. I mean, their free throw shooting made a difference for them in a lot of their games last season.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
Making a long pass like always a risky proposition.
And Norris Cole is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. The Spurs shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. Free throw good by Parker. No good on the second free throw. A free throw. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for San Antonio.
They've set the first half tone by really getting out in transition.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is working hard on the offensive glass. They've had a number of putbacks.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hi, guys. Well, LeBron James' game is so well-rounded, you might forget that he led the league in scoring back in 2008. He said, I've done that before. I'm capable of doing it, but that's not my job here. My job is to do a lot of everything, rebounding, passing, and defending. Guys, his versatility and completeness as a basketball player is what makes him so incredible to watch.
He can do it all, Doris. Pass, shoot, special talent. The Heat trail by 4. Allen outside. Inside. Battier kicks to Allen. LeBron. There's the 3. Ginobili grabs the board.
Ginobili is really one of those electrifying all-around players. I mean, he's as fun to watch as any guy. He scores, he defends, has a nose for the ball. He does everything, and usually he packs a bunch of production into short stints of playing time. He's now in his mid-30s. The question becomes for him is health. How much longer can he go at the level he's played at throughout his career?
Battier kicks to LeBron. They get it back. Out to Battier. Trains the three-pointer. Battier's got his third basket of the night.
And he's someone the defense has to keep track of at all times because, you know, even when he doesn't have the ball, he moves so well with that. He's constantly a threat to catch and shoot.
And you know what else I like about him, Steve? He'll do whatever it takes to help that team out. We've seen him take some absolutely gut-wrenching charges that a lot of other guys would simply avoid.
The Spurs making a switch here. Splitter's checked in. Duncan with the bucket. And for Ginobili last season, his shooting percentages dipped just a little bit. Now 36 years old. He's, breaking down. It seems like on a more regular basis. Is he starting to fade in your eyes?
Sure, he is, but he's still capable of playing out of his mind on any given night. I mean, and that's what you want from a guy like that at his age. You're not going to get it every night, but can he continue to help you win games? No question, Ginobili, he showed that last year.
That is good.
There it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, getting the ball into the post should be their first option every time down. Force the defense to adapt and adjust.
These defenders look overmatched right now, especially inside.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, 10 of the last 12 points have come from close range, so I agree.
Haslam covered by Duncan. Ball's knocked loose, and Haslam kicks to Cole. LeBron beyond the arc, and again, Miami with the triple.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding. They are piling up the assists.
And it's the Heat with the ball, trailing by 2. Quarter number 2, around 3 minutes gone by. And Haslam kicks to Allen. Cole, some nice ball movement here by the Heat. No good from LeBron.
You know, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom in that organization. I mean, he got started as a video coordinator, and through years of hard work and dedication, has really become an outstanding coach.
San Antonio calls timeout, and back to coach Eric Spoelstra. As a guy who got his start as a video coordinator, picking the game apart, Steve, he's very comfortable with the new advanced stat movement, analytics in the NBA.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to speak with him quite a bit. He says that the way they use advanced stats just as a conversation piece in the coaching room. Their analytics department will bring them various information, and it will force them to ask questions, which is very healthy for a coaching staff to do.
Splitter dishes the puck. It's stolen by Haslam.
We've just seen them make mistakes on back-to-back trips, but those turnovers could have been avoided. Careless mistakes.
Absolutely, Clark. They've got to have a tighter handle on the ball.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
Well, if you're going to learn from someone, you might as well take some lessons from Tim Duncan. That's what Thiago Splitter has done in San Antonio, really kind of growing up under the tutelage of one of the great players of all time.
Here's Cole, and a strong finish with 2 hands. Savage, that's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely. Those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt.
The Spurs have gone a sensational 5 of 5 from the field since the start of the second quarter. And Splitter taken 20 by the Spurs way back in the 2007 draft, but they had to wait 3 seasons for him to come over from Spain. And as Ray Popovich was saying just this past season, he's finally showing what he can do because he's been healthy.
Yeah, agreed, Kevin, and I think it was a wait worth making,
yes,
quite honestly. I mean, one of the premier backup centers in the NBA the last 3 seasons, and he himself a nice payday with his new contract, too.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Gentlemen, last year, Greg Popovich received a $250,000 fine from the league for sitting out his starters in that game against Miami. They cracked down, but it wasn't the first time he'd rested his top players on a back-to-back. Pop explained the philosophy this way, saying, quote, "We're making a wiser decision and not a macho decision. It's about health and safety of players so that we have a shot at the end of the year. If I was taking my son or daughter to the game, I'd be disappointed. So I understand that perspective. Hopefully, they'll understand my perspective. My priority is the basketball team and what is best for it. Guys, it's always a balancing act."
It certainly is. Thank you, Doris.
Tell you what, LeBron can absolutely soar in for the finish. I remember last year, the alley-oop in the conference finals against Indiana just almost put his head on the rim.
Air freight is a nickname we could dub LeBron James. I mean, he's an unstoppable force and an immovable object. Defensively, the strength, length, ability. He can wall you up and lock you down and put you away.
They swipe it. And Parker, here we go. Here's Bellinelli. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker got 3 assists tonight. 1:06 left to play here in the second quarter. The feed to Haslam. Dishes to Allen. Pass to Cole. Fires from deep. The rebound by the Spurs. Duncan's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Ginobili off a pick from Splitter. Ginobili against LeBron. Here's Duncan. Goes back up. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw. Try to make it a 3-point play.
Well, it looks like he's finally found his footing in this game. His first quarter was a real struggle, but he's gotten it going now.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Dwayne Wade's checked in for Haslam. And it's Chalmers in for Norris Cole. San Antonio shooting their 7th free throw attempt here. And Duncan, no good on that one.
And as you might expect for the team with the 2nd-best record in the West, the Spurs dominated the East last season, played each team twice for a total of 30 games, and went 25-5 in that stretch.
And Clark, back to what you said about the Spurs in the East, it was far and away the best record against the conference, Steve, for a team in the West.
Yeah, the 2nd-best record is Memphis with 22 wins. So kind of scary to think that they rested their big stars a few times against teams in the East, and they were still able to put up that kind of a record.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. And it's Wade penetrating. He dishes it to Bosh. And he throws in for the top.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high, fantastic one-hand jam.
Yeah, what a way to wrap up that possession. And no need to rush it. They can play for one shot.
And I think they should wait till about the 5-second mark to go for it.
Ginobili the pass to Parker. Back to Ginobili. Kicks it to Splitter. Working on Bosh. Stolen by Chalmers. So a tie game here as we finish the first half. We'll add the start to
Check out what's happened. The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back as we take a look at the scoring view of the downtown Miami skyline. Look at LeBron James. He's really been playing well.
I know we've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. He had a great first half, just an explosive offensive display there.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about what a great second half he had. He can usually keep it going for all 4 quarters.
While Miami stormed through the regular season and were viewed as the clear-cut favorites to come out of the East, but it was not as easy as expected. After sweeping Milwaukee, the Bulls gave them a scare, then the Pacers really took them deep all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
And for the Heat, the Pacers were their first real test, it seemed, and they had to survive and go home against it. It almost seemed, Clark, to take away any momentum they might have had when they went up against the Spurs in the finals.
You know, it's interesting. When I think of momentum in the playoffs, it doesn't carry over from game to game or series to series. I think each game, Kevin, is really an entity in and of itself. That said, Miami found a way, despite being pushed by the Pacers and being pushed by the Spurs, both to Game 7. It came down to LeBron James's brilliance, but also the hot shooting of a complimentary role-playing winner, Shane Battier. Well, if this game comes down to the rebounding battle, they'll be the ones coming out on top.
Yeah, they've been really strong in the paint, battling the glass.
And Chalmers kicks to LeBron. Wade outside. Haslam covered by Duncan. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true. This group, they turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the fourth was because they had so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think allows them to execute under pressure. Boy, they are just destroying the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low.
Just a little over 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. One, and comes up a bit short.
Tony Parker had a phenomenal 2011-2012 campaign, as is the case with Greg Popovich. He challenged Parker to improve upon that for last season. Popovich told him, good players can be great for a little bit, but great players are always great. And that really resonated with Parker.
Great D that time from Hazel.
And this is why you need size inside, the ability to contest shots and force misses.
Steve, that's exactly right. Even when you get in close, it's still a tough shot.
Think about how great Parker's been. We forgot his career almost came to an end in the summer of 2012. This is a very interesting part in his career.
That's right. He was an innocent bystander at a club in New York when a melee erupted and bottles were thrown. He got a shard of glass that penetrated almost through his left eye. Easily could have lost his vision and lost his career.
Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter.
We've seen a lot of silly plays like that out of them today. Just way too many.
Tony Parker's checked in for Daniel Green. Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. LeBron kicks to Chalmers. Lets it go with a three. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. LeBron's got 4 assists in the game.
I think he's best as a spot-up shooter. When he can play off of his teammates and find openings on the perimeter, just catch and shoot. Got a quick release. Beautiful stroke.
He does such a nice job of getting himself squared up and in perfect position before the ball gets there, preparing before the pass.
Battier dishes to Chalmers. LeBron against Ginobili. LeBron passes to Anderson. Battier, he's looking for LeBron and finds him. And there's the call on Ginobili. That's foul number 2 for him.
Oh, yeah, he had not established position.
You know, I took the refs to whistle with the block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
Ray Allen is checked in for Miami. Battier, he's guarded by Diaw. Battier kicks to LeBron. Pass to Allen. The dish now to Anderson. Heat moving the ball around. That one goes. Count it. Battier's got 10 points.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting pounded in there. The defense not offering much resistance. They've got to force the ball back out to the perimeter.
And that one's good. Parker.
The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that three-pointer.
Wade kicks to LeBron. Back to Wade. He passes to Anderson. Out to Battier. To the paint. Wade, right side. 4 on the shot clock. Offensive rebound. Second shot opportunity. Different now for Antonio. Loose. Feeds it to Anderson. Pass to Chalmers. Lets the 3 fly. And bounds as San Antonio gains possession.
You know, no denying heck of a run the last few years for the Heat, but I can't help but wonder if the impending 2014 summer of free agency could be the end of it all. The big 3 came together in a flash of lightning, it seemed, but it could end just as fast if one or all decide to opt out.
Dwayne Wade, who's checked in for Chris Anderson. Splitter misses.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that time.
And Clark, as you were saying, the trio of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh all have options in their contracts to become free agents in 2018 if they choose to. And Steve, you have to think that at least 1 or 2 of them might
You know LeBron will, because he's the most underpaid athlete probably in the history of sports. He's worth 10 times what he makes. But it's going to be interesting to see what Miami does here the next.
Here's Green. And another shot. And Allen with the block. Here's Duncan. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. The Spurs making a switch here. Leonard's checked in. The Heat leading by 9. And Chalmers kicks to LeBron. He feeds it to Chalmers. Back to LeBron. Passed away. Trying his luck deep. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. Wade's got 5 minutes.
Pleasure to watch him work at that end of the floor.
And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's his first foul. Boris Diaz checked in for San Antonio. 36 seconds left to play here in the third. Leonard against Allen. From 18 feet away. And it's Duncan penetrating. LeBron with some nice D.
He was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Contested that. We made it away from the three-point game here in the second. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good. Not to take near as many three-pointers in this.
LeBron against Ginobili. Duncan with the screen for Leonard. Open shot, Green. That misses, would have counted had it gone in. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit. And guys, let's get on the hustle stats for the Heat.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And something else they've excelled at is their interior defense. A lot of block shots for them tonight.
And Chalmers kicks to LeBron. Lock at 6. Haslam. No good. Some solid defense here from Boris Diaw. And here comes the break. And it's caught by Chalmers. And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. Splitter is checked in for Boris Diaw. Leonard off the pick from Ginobili. It's stolen by Haslam. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up that and then failing to get back in transition.
Parker dishes to Splitter. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that. And we've played through about a minute here in the fourth. And it's Wade penetrating. Gets it to go.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Yeah, they're getting exposed right now. And Kevin, he's really solidified his role as the closer on this team. You know, Miami struggled to figure out whether they'd go to LeBron or Bosh or Wade. I think Wade has become the guy.
Well, I tell you what, it's nice to have 2 guys that are capable of closing, Steve. And I agree with you, though. His aggressiveness and confidence probably give him a slight edge in closing over LeBron. You can play great defense on him, but he still typically finds a way to get the shot he wants.
And Chalmers kicks to Wade. It's stolen by Duncan. And Ginobili with a clear path to the rack. Rips down the breakaway slam.
Boy, extremely opportunistic defense leading to those points there.
That dunk, Clark, coming within seconds of the steal.
Love the way they convert from defense to offense.
But that's what happens when you get all 5 guys on a string defensively ready to react and make a play.
The 3 from LeBron, and that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. Chalmers has got 3 assists tonight. Time call here. The Spurs decide to take it over.
You know, people look at Mario Chalmers and say he might not be your typical point guard. He's not a big-time penetrator or playmaker, but he's a good fit for the Heat with his active defense and spot-up shooting from long range. I think it's a hand-in-glove fit, actually.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Kevin, Greg Popovich was just going over the plan with his team. He's not pleased with the careless turnovers offensively, saying, listen, we've got to get shots. It's as simple as that. We have to play smart and value the basketball. Kevin, did it sink in?
Parker passes to Splitter. Outside Leonard. Poke loose. Stolen by Allen. And now the fast break. LeBron with the ball. The coast-to-coast dunk.
How about that now? What a sensational finish.
Oh, gotta be able to get some hands out to do that.
Yeah, you got to rise and levitate.
Suspend yourself.
Yeah, levitate and glide. And glide. You got to glide in and reverse it home. So sweet.
And Chalmers, a three-time All-American, NCAA champion his junior season at Kansas, received the Most Outstanding Player Award for that 2008 tournament.
Hit what was probably the biggest shot in Kansas history, the three-pointer that sent that game against Memphis into overtime that allowed the Jayhawks to go on and win that national championship.
Now a timeout called by Miami.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Matt Bonner, he's checked in for San Antonio. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Now, here is Battier, defended by Bonner. It's back to Battier. No good with the triple. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
Gets the bucket.
His shooting's been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons his team is up in this game.
The feed now to Ginobili. Dishes it to Diaw. Back to Ginobili. This one for three. That doesn't go either by Ginobili. The Heat leading by 13. Wade kicks to Allen. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. Wade's got 4 assists in the game. He dishes it to Diaw. Parker outside. Kicks to Leonard. Back to Parker. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Fades away. Leonard, no luck.
It's easy to see why this team is losing. I mean, he's literally missed every shot he's put up today.
Allen kicks to LeBron. Takes the three. And that one's good. LeBron's got 10 points here in the second half.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket, for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen much of at the other end of the floor, though.
Good. And that's 15 points for Manu Ginobili.
His shooting has been so good today. He may have to take it upon himself to try to get his club out of this hole.
To the middle. And there's that's good on the assist by LeBron. And the Heat lead by 17.
And that puts a cherry on top, so to speak, of what's been a phenomenal showing for them.
All over but the whining now, Steve.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending to deflect it away.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Daniel Green. He's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Bellinelli comes in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. The dish to Bellinelli. Cole with the rebound.
That was a layup, and you've got to knock that down. You've got to convert when you get those opportunities.
Haslam, the pass to Cole. Wade dishes to Battier. Back to Wade. On the no luck. So the Spurs will take it the other way. Green kicks to Mills. And that'll be San Antonio as it goes out of bounds. Spurs retain possession.
18 seconds of the shot. 18.
Here's Bellinelli. Makes it off the glass.
Perfect inbounds pass and an easy 2 points.
The Heat have gotten exactly 2/3 of their shots to find the bottom of the net here in the fourth. 8 of 12. He kicks it to Cole. Now Hanselman in the lead pass. Anderson can't get it to go. San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Tries to save it, and that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession.
You take a risk with those long passes. They're lucky the D couldn't collect it.
And Diao kicks to Bellinelli. Here's Bonner. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2.
But the defense just looked a little lazy on the glass there.
Yeah, nobody boxing out. That's inexcusable.
Diao with the steal. Hold it up. And the miss. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin.